Welcome to my channel Techify with Adil. So in this video we will be discussing about virtualization. The virtualization is like a very common term you have heard in our day-to-day IT life. So what in general is virtualization? So virtualization is like running your uh, softwares, your applications, everything on a virtual computer instead of a physical computer. So in a nutshell, this is the virtualization. So we will discuss further on virtualization, major product VMware and their additional sub-products or their other products related to this virtualization. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel Techify with Adil, like and share, press the bell button to know updates on my videos. So I have also submitted videos on Excel, mastering in Excel playlist, and also basic troubleshootings and knowledge you have to acquire when you are doing your L1 L2 of help desk support desktop engineer jobs. So you can look into my videos. Under VMware, you would have heard about multiple products like VMware Workstation, VMware Player, VMware Fusion, then VMware ESXi, vCenter, and all this. So initially, there's two types of hypervisors like Type 1 and Type 2. So this Type 1 example is VMware ESXi. So we just see and briefly about what is this Type 1. So Type 1 is like you buy a hardware, a physical computer, then whatever OS with that, like maybe a Linux or it can be an Windows, whatever it is, you remove that and you install ESXi platform. So on that ESXi platform, then you create your virtualization OS. So that is simply the Type 1. So the Type 2 is you already have an OS, it can be a Windows or Linux or Mac, whatever. On that OS, you install an application, say VMware Workstation. So that's for Windows. So you install it on that, and inside that application, VMware Workstation, you create hypervisors. You create your VMware OS, like you can create multiple virtual computers inside that. So this is the Type 2. So the Type 1 is the base itself starts with the virtualization platform, and the Type 2 already you have OS and you install an application or you install on VMware on that OS available. Okay, so what is that VMware ESXi? So VMware ESXi is your base. You can compare that similar to your OS on your laptop. Like it can be compared to your OS, Windows OS or Linux OS. So something is like the base installed on the hardware. So you have a hardware. The software, the first software you install on the hardware is the ESXi, VMware ESXi. So after the ESXi is installed, then you can create the VMwares there. You can create multiple computers, servers. You can create it on that. Then this vCenter is like a management level. So you have multiple VMs created on the ESXi, and you will have to manage everything at one point, and that can be vCenter. So you can use this VMware vCenter to manage all the VMs that's created on ESXi. So this is like a very vast region and a separate big topic we can later discuss in my further videos on the breakdowns and how to do, and even I will add down the labs in my further videos. So now we will jump to the second part, that's the Type 2 hypervisor. So then the Type 2 hypervisor, as I mentioned, VMware Workstation is one of the example which we can install it on our Windows OS, and under that we create the uh, virtual computers. So next will be VMware Player. So VMware Player and VMware Workstations are both are much similar. The only difference is VMware Workstation has a more advanced level of settings, and you can run multiple workstations using the VMware. Mostly the developers, or you will have to run multiple machines with simultaneously. Then you can go for this VMware Workstation. The player is for our testing purposes. You like to do some testing, you need a computer that instead of using a physical one, you just use this VM player. Then you set up a computer, you can do all kind of testings over that. So the VMware is like the advanced version of VM player. Next is VMware Fusion. So VMware Fusion is much same like VMware Workstation. The only difference is VMware Workstation runs on Windows OS and this Fusion runs on Mac OS. So that's the only difference between the Fusion and Workstation. So there's other applications, other techniques, everything is much similar. Just the base OS which they run on is different. VMware has brought in a very big revolution in our IT industry. The reason is the very first thing is a cost cutting. Okay, so example like I need to set up some servers for temporary 6 months of project. In initial time, I have to purchase the hardware. Then I have to update all the, I have to install all the applications and everything. Then I have a maintenance for that, and I have to do all those stuffs from zero, from scratch. I have to start doing everything. So once I have this VMware, I just create one more virtual machine in my VMware. Then I install everything whatever is required for my project for next 6 months. Then after 6 months is done, I just scrap it. I just delete that virtual machine created. There is no additional cost involved unless you have to add some softwares. You pay for softwares, but you don't add for any other additional hardware. So you just make use of the hardware available, because usually we have also noticed in our home computers or in our personal computers, whatever we use, we can see the hardware is not fully utilized all the time. Like it can be a RAM or it can be a SSD or graphics card, whatever it is, it will not be fully utilized. There will be a unused space in our hardware always. So it's like we always pay for an unused space also, like unused hardware also we are paying when we are using our personal computers. When it comes to your virtualization, you pay for what you use. So this is the revolution that brought in the cloud technologies further, because the cloud technologies, the base way is all based on the virtualization. So virtualization is a very basic thing you will have to learn if you want to become very good in IT industry.